Today, we are going to explore one of the most fundamental and useful tools in the English language, the simple present tense. It might sound basic, but mastering it is the key that unlocks clear and confident communication in your daily life. The simple present is not about what is happening right this second, but rather about what happens regularly, what is always true, and what is part of a fixed schedule. It is the tense we use to describe the world around us and the routines that shape our lives. Think about your own day. You use this tense constantly without even realizing it. It is the language of habits, facts, and the predictable rhythm of our world, making it an essential building block for any English learner. Let's begin with the affirmative form, which is just a technical name for a positive statement. This is the simplest and most common way to use the simple present tense. The basic rule is wonderfully straightforward. Use the base form of the verb when you talk about yourself. I, you, the person you speak to, we, a group you are part of, they, another group. This consistency makes sentence building easy. For example, I walk to the park. They speak English. The verb stays the same, solid foundation. But one important change exists. It happens with third-person singular subjects, he, she, it. For these, add es or es to the base verb. So, I play, he plays, we watch, she watches. The rule applies to singular nouns too. My brother, he. The teacher, she. The dog, it. My brother lives in the city. The dog barks loudly. Now that you can make positive statements, it is time to learn how to express the opposite, the negative form. Making a negative sentence in the simple present is also very systematic. You cannot simply add the word not after the verb as you might in some other languages. Instead, English uses special helper verbs, also known as auxiliary verbs. The helper verbs for the simple present are do, does. To make a sentence negative, you place do not or does not before the main verb. The choice between do not and does not follows the same pattern as the S rule. You use do not with the subjects I, you, we, they. In everyday conversation, do not is almost always shortened to don't. Instead of saying I do not like spiders, it's much more natural to say I don't like spiders. We don't watch horror movies. They don't live nearby. Using don't makes your English sound more fluent and natural. For third-person singular subjects, ha green and so bain were friends. Ha cha she it and sha she. You must use does not. There is a common contraction, doesn't, so use doesn't for a single person or thing. He doesn't eat meat, she doesn't work on Fridays. Important rule, after does not or doesn't or doesn't phrases, the main verb returns to its base form. Do not add an extra s to the main verb. The s is already included in does. Correct? He doesn't play tennis. Incorrect? He doesn't plays tennis. This mistake is common. Pay attention. I don't drink coffee after 4 p.m. You don't need a jacket today. We don't understand the question. My parents don't speak French. He doesn't have a car. My sister doesn't like to wake up early. The store doesn't open until 10 a.m. It doesn't snow here in the summer. Practicing these will help you master don't and doesn't and avoid the extra s mistake, you know. After mastering statements, the next logical step is learning how to ask questions. The simplest type of question in English is the yes-no question, which can be answered with a simple yes or no. Just like with negative sentences, we use the helper verbs do and does to form questions in the simple present tense. The structure is predictable. Move do or does to the beginning, placing it before the subject. This signals to the listener that you want a straightforward yes or no. You use do when the subject is I, you, we, they. Structure, do, subject, base form of the verb. For example, you like pop music. Do you like pop music? They live in this neighborhood. Do they live in this neighborhood? When the subject is he, she, it. Start with does. Structure, does, subject, base form of the verb. The main verb must be in base form. Does carries the s. He works downtown. Does he work downtown? Notice that works changes back to work. She speaks German. Does she speak German? Drop the s from the main verb. It's critical. Responding politely. Do you like pizza? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Does she live here? Yes, she does. 家乡por awi. Do they have children? Yes, they do. Does it rain a lot in your city? No, it doesn't. Do we need to buy tickets? Yes, we do. Practicing these pairs will make your conversational English much smoother. Section 5. Digging deeper with WH questions. Asking for information. While yes/no questions are useful, they only give you limited information. When you want to know more details, like what, where, when, why, who, how, you need to use WH questions. These are also called information questions because they ask for specific information rather than a simple yes or no. The structure for forming WH questions in the simple present is a logical extension of the yes/no question format. Place the WH word at the very beginning, right before do or does. Formula. WH word plus do, does, plus, subject plus base form of the verb. For example, what do you play? When do you go to the gym? Where do you go to the gym? The choice between do and does depends entirely on the subject. Do for I, you, we, they. Does for he, she, I, it. Remember, with does, the main verb stays in base form. Why does she study marketing? Where does he work? How do they travel to work? What time does the movie start? Why do you get up so early? There is one important exception. When the WH word itself is the subject, specifically who or what, you do not use do or does. Structure. WH word plus verb with abrisamberdasners. If the subject is singular, for example, who lives in that house, what not, who does live? What makes that noise? Practice, who teaches this class, what causes rain? This special case is common, so it is good to practice it. Section 6. Mastering the rhythm. Time words and adverbs in daily use. To make your use of the simple present even more precise, you should learn to use time words and adverbs of frequency. These words are like signals. They tell the listener how often or when an action takes place. They are perfect partners for the simple present. They emphasize habitual or routine actions. Common adverbs include always, 100%, usually, about 80%, often, about 60%, sometimes, about 40%, rarely, about 10%, never, 0%. They usually go directly before the main verb. I always drink water with my meals. She often calls her parents on weekends. However, if the main verb is be, am, is, are, the adverb comes after the verb. He is always late. They are never home in the afternoon. You can also use frequency phrases. These usually go at the end, but can move to the beginning for emphasis. Every day, every week, once a month, twice a year on Mondays. In the summer. For instance, we go to the library once a week. He plays basketball every Saturday. I visit my family in the summer. Hearing usually or every day is a strong clue of the simple present. There's a big difference between I eat breakfast and I rarely eat breakfast. Practice adding these words to give rhythm and precision. Section 7. Let's practice. 3 drills to sharpen your skills. Theory is important, but practice is what truly builds skill and confidence. Now it is time to put your knowledge to the test with 3 short drills. These exercises reinforce the affirmative, negative question forms of the simple present. Complete them carefully and then check your answers below. The goal is not to be perfect immediately, but to practice the patterns until they feel automatic. Repetition is the key to mastering any new grammar structure. So let's get started with our first drill, focusing on the affirmative form. Drill 1. Fill in the correct affirmative form. Instructions. Complete each sentence by writing the correct form of the verb in parentheses. Remember to add s or as for he, she, and it. 1. My brother, live, in a small apartment. 2. We, study, for our English test together. 3. The sun, rise, in the east every morning. 4. You, make, delicious cookies. 5. She, wash her car on the weekend. 6. They, walk their dog in the park every evening. Answers. 1. Lives. 2. Study. 3. Rises. 4. Make. 5. Washes. 6. Walk. Drill 2. Make the sentences negative. Instructions. Change each affirmative sentence into a negative sentence. Use the contractions don't or doesn't. He plays video games every day. He doesn't play video games every day. I eat breakfast at home. I don't eat breakfast at home. They speak Japanese fluently. They don't speak Japanese fluently. The bus stops at this corner. The bus doesn't stop at this corner. We like to go to crowded places. We don't like to go to crowded places. She checks her email in the morning. She doesn't check her email in the morning. Section 8. Final thoughts. Your path to simple present mastery. We have now covered the essential components of the simple present tense, from building positive statements to asking detailed questions. As we conclude, it is helpful to quickly review the key takeaways. Remember the core rules. Use the base verb for I, you, we, they, but always add that crucial as or es for he, she, it, for negatives and questions. Let the helper verbs do, does, don't, doesn't lead. Starting a sentence with do or does is your key to unlocking yes-no answers. The best way to make these rules permanent is consistent, daily practice. Try to create your own simple sentences about your life. What do you do every morning? What does your best friend do for work? Where do your parents live? Ask and answer these for yourself. Pay attention when reading English books, watching movies, listening to songs. You will start to notice it everywhere. The journey to fluency is built with small, steady steps. Keep up the excellent work, and you will find yourself speaking with greater confidence and clarity every single day.